Of course, now 20 years later, after I received the FOIA papers, and I can see that not much was done. And what was done was more for a show. There were other momentums like this wall that was missing out of McKinney's gallery in Birmingham at the time of his murder. Can't help but thinking that all my interaction with the police was all smoke and mirrors. The next day, when Stud and the chief were going to go see John at his apartment, they were going to look to see if he had that book. Of course, it wasn't present. Neither were half the other things I told them, like the typewriter that John used to write the book he had been writing for years, and there were other momentums like this wall hanging that was missing out of McKinney's gallery in Birmingham at the time of his murder. And I just thought to myself, they must not have done a thorough job when John gave him consent to search his apartment. But Stud had told me they did do a thorough job. They looked through his books and this and that, and they didn't see Jill's book, Little House on the Prairie, or the library book or anything else. So after they left the place, they went down to the rare bookstore to see if any books had come in like that. And of course they weren't on a computer, because the gal that was a partner at the time was a children's book collector, and she just took the books right out of it when the boy had brought the books in to sell. This was the one of the elder sons of the mother of his child. And now we find out 20 years later that at least 115 books had been taken in there that very week that were from John's library. Those books of Jill's have been chased by everybody. I mean, we chased them ourselves to the bookstore, from the bookstore to the gal that collected them, and she sold them, her collection, to another antique dealer, and that antique dealer gave the book to her daughter, and that daughter, 5 years after the fact, had a garage sale and decided to sell it because there was an inscription in it. The Alpena police checked the bookstore. The Oakland County Sheriff's Department had someone check the bookstore. The Birmingham police checked the bookstore. So where is that book? It's in Alpena, Michigan, somewhere. In hindsight, I can't help but thinking that all my interaction with the police was all smoke and mirrors, because it just didn't seem to me like anybody was really looking for a child killer. Of course, now 20 years later, after I received the FOIA papers, and I can see that not much was done, and what was done was more for a show. I don't want to get into that too much, because I am going to tell you about Don Stud and the number he did on me for no reason at all, making me look like a bimbo in these reports. And when they went to the task force and to the other police officers who had requested them so they could go over the details, can you imagine, in 20 years, no one told me what Don Stud had done with those reports. So it was a big shock to me, and I've condensed down my original story for John, because so many of the things have come up in these FOIA reports that made me look like I was just plain stupid. And I don't understand the reason for it, but maybe you'll understand it after I give you that story. Another thing I never could quite understand was, I knew that originally Don Stud thought that John was the killer. And I could tell this right from the very beginning, because the night that the mother of John's child and I met with them and rode around, we had with us something that was definitely involved in the Oakland County child killings. And of course, they could not look at it because they were carrying on this investigation. But anyway, what this item was is it was a 1970s manicure set that John had stored in his shoebox office on a ledge up behind a drawer where nobody could find it or see it or anything else. Now, why would a person do that when they had a large apartment with not much in? Another sad part to this story is that when witnesses came forward to collaborate things that I was saying in that, they were all shut down. Take Alpena witness. When he came forward and he called the Oakland County Sheriff's Department, he was ridiculed by an officer who answered the phone that he talked to, who came right on and stated he did not see John draw any map. There was no meetings at Big Boy and yada yada yada. Can you imagine that? And then he continued on saying that John didn't draw any maps. Well, I wonder how he feels today. We have the maps up on our site and John drew the maps. You know, even though I've been given credit all these years for all the in-depth investigation and everything, what people don't realize is there were so many people that did this research and redid this research and redid this research to make sure that everything we posted was accurate. I mean, it started out with Avalon and Casual Observer and Greg, and in fact, Greg made a PowerPoint presentation with photos and everything, and even took the guy from the Attorney General's office out to dinner, drove him by the two homes, explained the entire situation to him and everything because he had attended the same school as John. And where did it go? Nowhere. I cannot even tell you how many people that we interviewed, me and my team, who had went to the task force and went to the different police agencies and told them that they saw this or they saw that, and was anybody going to investigate or what, and they did this 3, 4, 5 times each. And finally they just gave up because no one came to talk to them. So many people have asked me over the last couple of months, how come I don't rat on the state police? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I did not know they did not have any of my information. Tobias never gave him my information. Detective Anger never gave him my information. Birmingham Police never gave him my true information. Corey never gave him my information. So what should I rat on the Michigan State Police about? As far as I'm concerned, Gray and Robinson are the only two that never lied to me.